What's going on, guys? Little Tiki Torch here, back with another anime review. We got 86 again. So this one started off just pretty much what I thought it was going to be. Opening up with Theo giving Lena the biz again about everything that happened with Kaya. We lost in episode 3 due to Lena not knowing what was going on and kind of telling these guys that they kind of don't know what they're doing, but in actuality they do. This conversation or lack of conversation, Theo kind of telling Lena off, made Lena go to Henrietta to kind of seek a little bit of advice and explain to her what had happened and why she feels the way that she does. And Henrietta kind of said to her, well, you kind of think of yourself as the saint and that you're different from us, but you're really not. You're treating them the exact same way that we are. You're just doing it in a different way. It's kind of made her open her eyes, and then she, instead of just taking that advice that Henrietta was giving her, to which I think she gave that advice off of not just experience, but the emotion that she showed at the end of that conversation. They pan over to her, and it looks like she's expressing sort of grief, remorse, or regret, or shame, or anger, or all of those emotions combined. Because it doesn't. I at first thought she was doing something out of betrayal or like a vengeful way, but it's not that. I don't think. I think she had an 86er that she was in love with, and then lost him in the field of battle. But after she has this conversation with Henrietta, she then goes to Jerome, tells him about what's going on. He sort of already has an inkling as to what she's talking about and what she's doing. And he does say that I don't think that he was a bad father or a bad husband. He was a great friend. He was a good man, but he also was very arrogant and stupid. It took me a second to realize that Jerome was right. He was pretty arrogant because he thought only 86ers could die in the field of battle and not them, the Albas. So, which ultimately led to his demise. Kind of shocked that he said that, and I guess made her realize, like, okay, yeah, he was kind of like that. So I guess I shouldn't be doing everything that he's doing. And Jerome even says, I don't want you going down the same path as him. But it still leads me to believe that Jerome is not exactly the guy who we think he is. I think he's actually sort of working a little bit in the dark there and has something up his sleeve for Lena. Lena uses the parabade after kind of having this conversation with Jerome. I think she was going to try and go AWOL a little bit, but she ends up calling Shin. And it's actually kind of how the episode opens up, but you don't get to hear the full conversation until about the end. She has a conversation with Shin, and that conversation basically leads him to realize that, okay, she's trying to accept the responsibility of her actions from before and wants to, change that and better herself on that. And he knows the predicament that she's already in, so he doesn't blame her for anything, which I guess is why he didn't say anything at the time that Theo was freaking out on her. And that's why Raiden the XO picked up in that place, because he just stayed quiet. He actually didn't even have a reaction to the whole thing until later. The conversation ends up leading Shin to open a line of communication to the rest of the squad so that Lena can ask their names, even though she already knows them now. After Shin tells her, she still wants to talk to them and converse with them. Theo is the one who kind of takes over control here, and the reason why is because Shin wanted to give him an opportunity to kind of take back how he said what he said, and Theo kind of apologizes in his own way. And Theo's character, I think, took it in a direction that I did not see coming. I thought this was actually going to lead to a change in his character to where he would actually have a spiral downward into a descent of where he would end up kind of making a lot of mistakes that would end up getting him killed or getting somebody else killed, and then lead to a revitalized character development. I don't know, something like that. But instead they went into a route where he accepted what he did, knew what he did too. It bothered him too. He was talking to other people about it even prior to the conversation that he had with Lena. So it definitely bothered him, and his conscience is huge. He's got a good character to him, and he still stands by what he said, but he does rephrase it And Raiden backs it up too, and he speaks for everybody. They all think it too. They're just coming from a place of more respecting the rank rather than respecting her as a person, because she still needs to grow, because she's still commanding them in the way that she's not very skilled at what she does, right? And they are. So it's kind of like she needs to take this as like a learning curve for her rather than them. But after having this conversation, I think it more so bonded them rather than separated them, which was really cool. And I think this next episode that we're gonna get is gonna have a little bit of a filler in it. I think it's gonna explain a little bit and open up on path of her going to District 86 again, because at the end we see that she knows Shin's brother, and watching those flashbacks that Shin had after she had said his name, we know that he was alive because she uses him as past tense. So I'm going to say that he's dead, because she keeps saying that his name was Doulahan, his name was the Headless Knight, this was his name. And Shin says, yeah, that was my brother. And I think she knows Shin's brother from District 86. And if it's not District 86, I think she knows his brother from the academy, or maybe the brother ended up having some type of class or teaching or instruction to Lena, and that's how she ended up knowing Shin's brother. We now know that Shin has a brother. We now know that Lena knows him too, and we can kind of start seeing where I think, had some sort of childhood together, and I don't think that they remember each other. It may have been a small interaction, but I think that's where we're going towards. So I'm excited to see this next episode. I think, again, it's going to be a filler. Good amount of action with, I think, a little bit more in-depth look at what really went on in District 86. And I think we might end up seeing Lena possibly making her way towards District 86 in order to meet the squad. So I'm excited to see that. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below about that theory. Let me know if you guys have your own theory about how they met. Hopefully you guys are liking the videos. Hopefully, I earned yourself for that. And hopefully you guys are enjoying the anime too. I can't wait for this Saturday. We'll see what goes on. And episode 5, man. Yeah, episode 5. Let's see what happens.